work across the aisle. He wants to deal with Republicans. He's still a believer in the institution of the U.S. Congress, particularly the Senate. He's still a believer that America needs to come together, needs to show that democracy can work. That's sort of one of the through lines of his administration. He needs to prove that Republicans and Democrats can work together and take care of the American people as it tries to compete. This nation competes with rising autocracies across the globe. It needs to be able to show that democracy can still work in light of what happened on January 6th. We see the bipartisan infrastructure deal seeming like it's come together. But at the same time, there needs to be a focus, and the White House has pushed this, condemning what happened. They supported what would have been the January 6th bipartisan commission that Republicans in the Senate scuttled. They support the select committee that House Speaker Pelosi is putting together, though we still don't know which Republicans will be on that. And they recognize how damaging, what a dark day this was for this nation's democracy, and they don't want to lose sight of it as much as they still do want to work with the Republicans, and some of the Republicans have been willing to accept that olive branch. But yes, they also are dealing with leadership and a number of the rank and file who don't want to come to grips with that day, who are still perpetuating the big election lie, Donald Trump's big election lie that fueled that day. So that is something that is a defining moment that will shadow this administration, the Biden administration, throughout its term in office. How do you do both? How do you work with Republicans when so many of them don't even believe you should be president?
The National Education Association, the country's largest teachers union, adopted a resolution last week at its annual meeting to support the teaching of critical race theory, or CRT. The union of more than 2 million educators resolved to, quote, publicly convey its support for the accurate and honest teaching of unpleasant aspects of American history, such as slavery and the oppression and discrimination of indigenous, black, brown, and other peoples of color, as well as the continued impact this history has on our current resolve to, quote, publicly convey its support for the accurate and honest teaching of unpleasant aspects of American history, such as slavery and the oppression and discrimination of indigenous, black, brown, and other peoples of color, as well as the continued impact this history has on our current society. But a growing number of conservatives consider CRT divisive and anti-American. Joining us now, contributing editor at City Journal and senior fellow at the Manhattan